once this agreement is signed, first of all by them, and then extended, employers has the option of applying for an exemption. But first of all, let's talk about them signing that agreement. Can they opt out of that agreement?
Yes, the agreement permits any employer, whether you're a party or a non-party, to apply for exemption from that agreement. So whether you signed it and said, well, I'm happy to sign this and pay these wages, doesn't matter. You can simply apply to the council and say, well, despite the fact that I signed the agreement, I can't afford actually to pay them, and so I'm applying to the exemption.
Does it make any sense?
It does not make sense. It creates a two-tier bargaining system where you can sign any deal and then simply say, well, I signed it, but I'm reneging because I actually couldn't afford it.
So there's a situation that we're aware of, that the guy signing the agreement, the collective agreement, that person signing the collective agreement, immediately thereafter give the application for exemption forms to an official and says, I've just signed it, I've just bound an industry into this agreement, and yet I can't pay it. You and I had a discussion recently in an aeroplane, in a flight, during a flight with somebody that did exactly that. And his answer is, but I can't pay that wages. But why then sign that agreement? So you sign an agreement and then lodge an application to be excused from that agreement. And then you go further. You request the minister to apply that same agreement, which you can't pay, to somebody else who have decided not to be part of that agreement. Can you describe what kind of behavior is that?
It's ridiculous. It's immoral, and it's simply a smokescreen. Exemptions, if you read the LRA, is supposed to be for non-parties.
Which makes sense.
Which makes sense. It protects non-parties because they weren't part of concluding and negotiating that agreement. So they can come and say, well, listen, I wasn't part of this, so I can't afford it, so please exempt me from the agreement. But if you were a part of the negotiations and decided to bind yourself into that agreement, you should have no right then to step out of the agreement which you just agreed to, while extending it to other parties which had no input.
We've recently expressed ourselves, and we've done it many times in the past, where we said employers that's doing this simply doesn't have backbone, and we call them weak. And it's simply, they do this under pressure from NEASA. So I'm safe, I will apply for an exemption, and strangely enough, NEASA is quite okay with that. And the reason why they're okay with it is they know if this silly arrangement, this immoral arrangement, if that is not applied, they will never have an agreement. So we sit here with a situation that really cannot be tolerated. It's an untenable situation which we faced here. And I think that is something that needs to be challenged in court.